We just heard from Jay Sekulow on the White House doing something that most media outlets are not reporting or underreporting, and this is really important. White House officials recently met with the radical Islamic cleric, a radical cleric, who serves as the vice president of a pro-Hamas organization. The president of that organization is Yusuf al-Qaradawi. He is the same guy who praised the Holocaust and sanctioned the killing of American soldiers. His number 2 guy was in the White House, meeting with the administration. From TheBlaze, Buck Sexton, our national security advisor, he just came back from the Middle East and some real trouble is brewing there, but I wanted to ask him first about who this guy is that just met in the White House. Buck?
Glenn, yes, this is, look, the administration takes this tone, this is nothing new, that they can have people meet with those of this kind of background, and that will somehow not legitimize who they are. They think that they can reach out to radicals. This is not in any way a different strategy for them. This guy has ties to a number of organizations that are incredibly problematic. But the Obama administration, again, doesn't really necessarily view them as problems. They view them as people who have a different point of view. So, of course, they're going to meet with folks like this. And it just goes to show you this is how they view folks in that part of the world who are, quite honestly, really opposed to our interests and involved with some very nasty stuff.
Give me an idea of who this guy and his organization is. Can you, Buck? I mean, can you compare him to anybody? Tell me about al-Qaradawi.
Well, Qaradawi right now is a well-known Sunni preacher who has a tremendous amount of legitimacy in the Arab world. He's a guy who has spoken out in favor, of course, of what he calls resistance. It would be suicide bombings. And he's somebody who is, of course, opposed to U.S. interventions in the Middle East and has supported attacks on U.S. soldiers. So he's a really bad guy. And this is not, again, this is, but Glenn, the part of this is that these are not people that are unusual, really, for the region. This is not that strange. A lot of well-known preachers, a lot of those who have this kind of legitimacy hate the state of Israel and are really opposed to the U.S. and quite honestly hate the U.S. too.
We don't have them at the White House. I'm tired of being called an extremist, you know, as a Christian and a constitutionalist, and then have these extremists meet with the president. It's insane. Now, let me switch gears because we have limited time. I've got about 2 minutes. I've been saying for a while we're headed for real trouble in the Middle East. I think the falling apart of Syria is the linchpin there. You say that there's more trouble on the horizon in Egypt. You just got back. Tell me quickly what we should be looking for and what you think is coming.
Glenn, I was just in Cairo a couple of days ago, and I've spoken to contacts of mine on the ground there today. Cairo is a city preparing for a siege right now. People are hoarding food. They are getting cash out of ATM machines. The military is sending reinforcements to bases all around the area, preparing for major clashes. You have millions of people, they say, preparing to march in the streets. There's already been violence today. We've had a couple of people killed in clashes on the street between anti-Muslim Brotherhood and pro-Muslim Brotherhood factions. This thing is going to very quickly spiral out of control. And I would just point this out. Lots of folks are saying, well, there's no legal justification for the Brotherhood to step down at this point. The only way the Brotherhood can be forced to step down is if things get so violent that the military, and they've said they may step in, the military steps in, which is effectively a coup. Right. And so that's why right now there's so much tension on the ground there. And again, this could be a conflagration that nobody can contain.
And which is better, the Muslim Brotherhood or the military?
I think you'd have to prefer the military, of course, but that again goes back to that whole democratization Arab Spring thing.
We're back to
Glenn, and that's not just my theory. That's actually now the protesters who a year ago wanted the military to step out of things are now saying, "Oh, we want the military to come back." Right. That's how much of a switch we've seen.
They're basically praying for Mubarak or a Mubarak type guy to come back in. Are they not?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right, because the economy has completely collapsed. Law and order is breaking down. Women are being sexually assaulted at a pace that's never been seen before, in broad daylight, in front of people, on the streets, whether they're covered or not. None of that makes any difference whatsoever. I mean, this is a society that is in free fall, Glenn, and that's not an overstatement.
Here is the thing, Buck, and I don't think anybody sees it, and you, you know, are awfully popular on TheBlaze. I see your ratings on radio and television as well. You're awfully popular, and you're a guy who can get this across to the American left, even, that what you see in Egypt is what you will see in Brazil, and what you will see in Greece, and what you will see in England, and what you will see here. If you continue to pray for revolution, it usually ends this way, does it not?
It absolutely does. I mean, this is sort of the French style of revolution, if you will.
Always.
It is lopping the head off of the society and then hoping that things find their place. Well, what you do then is unleash a lot of forces that have been suppressed and in some cases dormant, the Muslim Brotherhood, for example, and then they decide that they're going to take over and take power. There is no good option right now for Egypt. We're just looking at how bad things can really get. I think there are a lot of people who have been saying for a while, oh, they'll figure it out. We'll see. This weekend could really turn a lot of people into the point of view that the Arab Spring is a failure, Glenn.
Buck, I thank you, and I'm glad that you are with us at TheBlaze. This is one of the only places I think that actually you can get this. Would you agree with this, Buck? Or I don't watch enough news. Anybody else, any other network have this point of view as strongly as we do?
No, no one will come out and say this quite the same way. Certainly no one's saying the only way the Brotherhood steps down is through a coup. Yeah. Therefore, the protesters might want a coup.
Right. This is the place. This is going to melt down. It's only a matter of time. And Buck is the guy to really watch. And he'll give you the straight scoop. He has been right every step of the way, and the network has been right every step of the way. Get away from the Bill Kristols of the world. They'll only lead you astray and into more war and bloodshed. Thanks very much, Buck.
Thanks, Glenn.